10,000 meters up. A passenger jet slices through the clouds at almost 900 kilometers per hour, burning tons of fuel every minute. Look out the window and you'll see something odd. The wingtips don't end in a straight line. They're bent upward, as if someone deliberately folded them before takeoff. At first glance, it looks like a designer's flourish that changes nothing. Yet airlines will pay millions to add these upward curved ends, even to aircraft that have already left the factory. Some carriers even send their planes back to the hangar years after purchase just to install them. Why spend that money on a tiny piece of wing when every extra device adds weight and complexity? To understand the battle each second, imagine sticking your hand out of a car window at high speed. The air slams against your palm, turning invisible emptiness into a solid wall. For a multi-ton jet, that wall becomes an unforgiving barrier. Engines work at their limits, gulping buckets of pricey kerosene, while airlines lose millions to the drag that this wall creates. The sneakiest culprit, however, isn't on the nose. It hides at the very tip of the wing. All flight physics rests on one simple trick: create a pressure difference. As the plane speeds up, the wing cuts through the air. Below the wing, a dense cushion of air pushes the aircraft upward. Above, low-pressure zones form. It's like a giant vacuum cleaner. The top of the wing sucks the plane upward, the bottom pushes it up. But at the edge of the wing, engineers ran into a catastrophic loss of energy. Nature hates a vacuum and always tries to equalize pressure. Picture opening a soda bottle suddenly. The high-pressure gas rushes out with a hiss. The same thing happens at the wingtip where the metal ends. The dense air underneath rushes up into the empty space above, twisting into an invisible vortex the size of a freight truck. That turbulent tail trails behind the aircraft for kilometers. In aviation, this is called induced drag. But in practice, it works like a tight brake rope, snagging the plane's tail and pulling it backward. Engines have to spin faster, burning more fuel for nothing. So the curved tip isn't decorative. It's an economic fix to cut that brake rope. Early designers tried the obvious solution: make the wing longer, pushing the edge farther from the fuselage. The idea was that the vortex would weaken with distance and disappear. Calculations promised spectacular success. The first metal attempt, however, drove aviation into a dead end. Imagine holding a long, thin wooden ruler by its tip. Press the opposite end and it snaps in your fingers. An overlong wing becomes the same dangerous lever. In flight, airflow presses on the wingtips with such force that metal fatigue builds up right where the wing meets the fuselage. A sudden bout of turbulence could make the wings fold upward like a butterfly's. To keep the structure safe, engineers would have needed an absurdly thick, heavy wing root, making the aircraft as heavy as a cast iron bridge, unable to leave the ground. Even if they could, the sheer size would wreck airport logistics. Think of buying a massive SUV that can't fit through narrow streets or any parking space. The same happened on the tarmac. The new wide-wing giants bumped lighting poles, couldn't taxi past neighbors, and didn't fit into standard hangars. Rebuilding thousands of airports for a single model was economic madness. The industry was stuck. A different approach was needed, one that calmed the vortex without expanding the aircraft's footprint. Researchers turned to history. In an old archive, they uncovered a forgotten 1897 patent by British scientist Frederick Lanchester, 6 years before the Wright brothers even flew. Lanchester proposed placing flat, vertical plates at the wingtips to block the airflow from spilling upward. Engineers tried it in metal. The plates did trap the low-pressure air under the wing, but they introduced a new, even worse problem. Flat plates acted like an effective brake. Imagine opening an umbrella against a gale. The wind can't swirl around it, but it pulls the umbrella backward with fierce force. The air now slammed into the metal shields, hindering forward motion. The plates also added weight to the outermost part of the wing, causing dangerous high-frequency vibrations known as flutter. The wing would shake and bend dozens of times per second, looking as if the aircraft were waving its arms in the sky. This uncontrolled tremor creates critical loads that can damage structural elements mid-flight. Some aviation enthusiasts even whispered that the flat plates were deliberately sabotaged by rival manufacturers to avoid paying for old patents. It's just a myth. Real tests proved the flat plates ineffective and hazardous, and the project was abandoned. Engineers realized that dry formulas and crude barriers no longer worked. The breakthrough came from an unexpected direction: nature itself. In the 1970s, NASA researcher Richard Whitcomb decided to stop staring at blueprints and start looking at birds, specifically large raptors that glide for hours without beating their wings. He examined the feather arrangement of golden eagles and harriers. Those birds never hold their wings perfectly flat. Their outermost feathers bend upward, forming a graceful fan. Think of trying to block a strong water jet with a single flat palm. The water simply splashes around it, creating chaotic spray. But spread your fingers wide, and the single jet splits into many smaller, calmer streams. The birds do the same. Their fanned, upward bent feathers split the turbulent airflow into several weak, harmless streams. Whitcomb took this biological insight and designed the winglet, a small, smoothly curved tip with its own clever aerodynamic profile. The winglet tapers upward and leans slightly outward, resembling a teardrop that narrows toward the top. Early mock-ups looked odd, but the geometry held the key. When the invisible air tornado tries to spin around the wingtip, it slams into the curved winglet at an angle rather than head-on, much like a side wind hitting a sail. The vortex's energy is redirected, pushing the plane forward instead of dragging it back. Engineers turned the plane's chief enemy into an extra thrust source. Wind tunnel tests on scaled models showed dramatic drag reductions. Sensors recorded a massive drop in resistance. Yet blowing air over a lightweight plastic model in a quiet lab is far from the reality of a multi-ton jet. A tiny miscalculation in structural strength could cause a catastrophic failure on a regular flight. The invisible vortex wasn't just a fuel-guzzling nuisance. It was a hidden danger, known in the industry as the wake vortex or trailing vortex. Imagine paddling a small inflatable boat behind a massive ocean liner. The giant's wake can flip your craft. In the sky, a similar turbulent tube follows behind a large aircraft. If a smaller plane crosses that tube even 3 minutes after the giant's takeoff, the vortex can destabilize it, potentially knocking it off course. Because of this, air traffic controllers had to enforce long gaps between departures, creating massive queues on the runway. The moment of truth arrived when engineers had to test the curved tip on a real, heavy aircraft. They fired jets through artificial smoke clouds so cameras could capture vortex shapes. The first images showed the dreaded vortex rope replaced by a faint, quickly fading trail. The winglet had tamed the beast. Once the results were published, airlines instantly crunched the numbers and demanded the new tips for every plane in service. But there was a massive engineering hurdle. Waiting 10 years for brand new aircraft with built-in winglets wasn't an option. Airlines wanted the upgrade on existing fleets. At first glance, bolting a small, curved piece onto the very end of a wing seemed simple. In practice, it was like trying to attach a heavy metal nut to the tip of a thin plastic ruler. The ruler would instantly bend. Modern wings hide fuel tanks, control systems, and structural ribs. You can't just drill a hole and screw a piece on. Adding the winglet adds hundreds of kilograms at the farthest point, threatening the wing's balance. Engineers had to open up the wing skins, reinforce internal spars, and recalculate the entire aircraft's weight distribution. A tiny error could trigger dangerous vibrations at cruising speed. Nevertheless, the painstaking retrofits were completed in hangars around the world. The modified jets returned to regular service, and the numbers speak for themselves. A typical winglet installation reduces an aircraft's fuel burn by about 5% per flight. To picture that, imagine thousands of Olympic-sized swimming pools filled to the brim with jet fuel. This is roughly the amount airlines save each year thanks to winglets. In a world of soaring fuel prices, that 5% translates into billions of dollars saved annually. Beyond the financial upside, the environmental impact is huge. Cutting fuel consumption trims carbon dioxide emissions by about 1 million tons every year. Cleaner air over our cities, and safer flights thanks to reduced wake turbulence. Shorter separation intervals between takeoffs also mean less time spent idling on the runway, easing congestion at busy airports. The story doesn't end here. Modern winglets have evolved beyond Whitcomb's original design. Today, you'll see sleek shark fin tips that resemble a dolphin's dorsal fin, or even split-tip winglets that branch both upward and downward, each tweak shaving off another fraction of a percent of drag. Engineers keep hunting for that extra sliver of efficiency, turning every invisible swirl of air into a source of thrust rather than a loss. This saga proves that in aviation, there are no insignificant details. Every hidden joint, every subtle curve, every seemingly decorative piece is dictated by harsh physical laws and years of painstaking research. By decoding the ancient secret of a raptor's feather, humanity turned the chaotic air vortex into a silent ally. So next time you glance out the window at those upward curved wingtips, remember, they're not just a fashion statement. They're a high-tech instrument that reshapes the economics, ecology, and safety of global air travel. What do you think? Has the loss of perfectly straight wings taken away some elegance, or does the practical gain in fuel savings and environmental benefit outweigh the aesthetic trade-off? Share your thoughts in the comments, give this video a like if you enjoyed the story, and spread it with friends. More fascinating aviation insights coming soon.